Alrighty, hello there, sinners. How are you?
That was such a slay.
Thank you.
Please show off your fan to the sinners at home.
100 reasons to love Ryan Gosling. You'll be shocked by number 99.
There's infinite reasons to love Ryan Gosling, to be fair.
There is. I mean, they really couldn't fit them all in that book, so.
Welcome back to day 3 of the second annual 12 Days of Sinmas.
Day 3.
And today, I'm joined by my bestie for the rusty, Nikki Carreon!
Hello!
Sinmas Dance Party. Nikki is a fellow commentary creator who you should definitely go check out. I mean, who else would put themselves through the torture that is reading every popular Colleen Hoover book?
Or watching every Ryan Gosling movie.
That sounds like more of a pleasant experience, though.
It was pretty pleasant. Let's just say I'm finding more and more reasons to love him.
Exactly. So, Nikki, what are you giving my sinners for the third day of Sinmas?
Something's cooking right now.
It's almost done.
Yes.
We're all here, waiting with bated breath.
An elf bar and a monster. Energy. Drink.
Hell yeah.
Size large.
Would you like fries with that?
No, thank you. I mean, after those two things, I'm as pleased as peaches. A peach elf bar, that is.
So, Nikki, have you ever heard of boy moms?
I have, and I also feel like they've done irreparable damage to society.
That is certainly true. If you had to give a definition for boy moms, what would that be?
A boy mom is a mom of boys who has kind of a weird relationship with their son due to them being a guy, like kind of like giving them special treatment as opposed to maybe their daughter, or treating them kind of like they're in a romantic relationship rather than like a parent-child relationship.
I think you nailed it on the head.
I've been thinking about it all night, Annamarie.
How can you not? But according to the academic institution that is Urban Dictionary, a boy mom is a mom who is emotionally incestuous with her sons. So pretty much what you said.
I mean, I wasn't going to go there yet because it's still really early in the video, but you said it.
You will, though. Some of the posts I'll be showing you and Nikki today are from Reddit, specifically the subreddit r/from mom groups, or mom groups say. I forgot the name of it. I'm a good YouTuber.
I love Reddit.
I also pulled a few videos from TikTok that I'll be showing you, including this first one right here. And the caption is, haha, don't come for me saying I'm toxic. It's a joke, with
I'm scared.
The pouty emoji and the brown heart.
Okay, also, I don't like the way she spaced out joke. Like, that tells me everything I need to know.
Because she's quirky.
She's about to say something really unhinged.
Actually, she participated in a common trend that a lot of the boy moms of TikTok did back in 2021. If you're familiar with Olivia Rodrigo's song Happier.
Is that the one where she's like, good for you, you said I never you baby?
No, this one's a little sadder.
Oh, dang.
If you know the meaning of the song, you know how fucking creepy this is. Let's just play it and you'll see why.
Whew.
Ma'am, your children are 3 years old.
That's really weird. I don't even know how to, like, process, like, compute getting into the mindset where, like, my kid is 3 years old. He's picking his nose and probably his pants. I don't know anything about kids. Can you tell? But
it's probably accurate, though. What else do kids do?
Eat grass. I did.
And you're here to tell the tale.
Yeah.
Nature salad.
Her kid spends his days watching SpongeBob and Peppa Pig and thinks nothing about gender or love or anything related to the opposite sex or anything.
Right.
But she's already thinking about being jealous of their potential future girlfriends.
When that's not going to happen for another, like, 10, 15 years?
Why is that even on your priority list? Like,
the priority should be, am I making dino nuggets or mac and cheese tonight for them?
Right, exactly.
Not whether or not you're going to be that mother-in-law.
Have they eaten enough grass today? You know? It's
Probably
stuff like
not.
that.
We used to be a country where kids can eat grass freely.
We used to play out in the dirt.
Drinking hose water. And look at us now.
Now we're just like pussies and we have Brita filters and...
worrying about preservatives and things being organic. Grow up. Stop being a snowflake. But yeah, this was like the most common boy mom type of TikToks you'd see. And like now that you've heard the song, do you get why it's even creepier? Like...
yes.
You could be happy with your future wife, but not as happy as I made you.
That's really weird. And I don't understand why people don't have like two separate compartments in their brain for this sort of thing. It's like you would think there's like one way where it's like the love and joy that I give you from being your mom completely separated from the way you may have a future relationship. Like, because they're very different from each other. So,
and it's like not even a worry right now. So chill.
Yeah.
Relax.
I also don't know why people would want to post this online. Like, it's such a weird, like, self-report, and everybody's just gonna kind of be like, eh.
But it's a joke, though, so we can't look into it deeper.
Lest we be punished.
No, heaven forbid.
On day 3.
On day 3 of the 12 Days of Sinmas. This next post, I believe, is a screenshot from Facebook. It's always Facebook. I mean...
FB.
Nothing good comes from Facebook.
Except Mark Zuckerberg.
Daddy. Daddy Zuckerberg?
Every time I see a picture of him, I laugh.
It always looks like it's his first day on Earth. Well, anyway, thankfully this person cropped their kid out of the photo, so I don't have to. But the caption of this is, hide your daughters, hide your mama, hide your wife. Mama stud muffin, I love you oh so much.
Mama stud muffin.
Just based on the top of this kid's head, I don't think he's older than like 4.
Okay, can we just talk about what the first line of this is even referencing? Because this is deep internet lore, okay? Hide your daughters, hide your kids, hide your wife, whatever. That is initially a guy talking about someone who tried to sexually assault his sister.
Yeah.
So is this something that you're really wanting to like associate with your kid?
We all know the meme, especially if you're old like us and you've been on the internet for a while. But like, yeah, that's kind of dark. And like a guy talking about his sister almost getting sexually assaulted was turned into a song, GIFs, merch, like that. If you think about it, that's pretty
wild.
Dystopian. Right.
Yeah,
and
imagine being her.
like someone remixing a song about my trauma. But yeah, I don't like the idea of a mother calling her son a stud muffin. Like there's one thing to call him cute, handsome, adorable, precious, but like stud muffin, that's like a pet name.
Without that top line, I think that would be kind of like fine. But with the context of the top line, you're kind of like, oh, why are we talking about this kid's romantic endeavors?
Unhinged.
It's like vaguely like sexual to reference something like that too, to be like, hide the women, you know, he's coming through.
My 3-year-old son is coming through.
Yeah, it's strange.
There's like longer posts that we're gonna get into that have a whole lot more to unpack. This is like the tame stuff.
I think it's funny that we had so much to say about this and it's like 2 lines.
And the kid's forehead. That's it. That's all we got. And we went on a rant about a fucking meme from 10 years ago. So we're going back to TikTok for this next one. And the caption is home cooking for my 3 sons. So she's a multiple boy mom.
Oh, God.
She has 3 sons to traumatize. Thoughts?
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
It sounds like she's being very judgmental of this future girlfriend or wife or whomever that doesn't even exist yet because she's mad that he might be impressed by what, a stouffer's lasagna?
Like implying that like his future wife is going to be unskilled and like she's going to be the superior woman in his life.
Like, first of all, why is it like assumed that it's going to be her job to like cook things? I feel like there's like an underlying like misogynistic tone to that, like the assumption that it's like, oh, well, she better be a good cook. Like,
for sure.
Why can't you guys cook together? Or like, why does it really matter all that much? Like,
yeah, but she can only cook Stouffer's lasagna, so obviously he's not going to be impressed, according to this mother. They're going to hold hands while they put it in the microwave.
Why does he have to be impressed by the lasagna, you know? Why?
You know that song that's like, anything you can do, I can do better?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like that kind of dynamic. She's already being a nightmare mother-in-law.
Definitely.
Not a good look.
And especially that ominous look that she gave into the camera, like she was like a witch, like
possessive.
Cursing us all.
Like, I was like a little frightened by that. And I don't even know her.
Like, I felt like a Looney Tune. Like, my eyes popped out of my head like, and I almost like ran away like.
The original person actually took this down because she got so much hate, and I think you could see why.
She's having this whole conundrum in her brain about this other woman. Like, his girlfriend would be like the mistress of like their relationship. Like, she's imposing on their relationship. Like,
for her and her son husband.
Exactly.
And I feel so weird saying that because the kid's like 3. All these kids are young.
Just let them live, you know?
The oldest kid in this compilation I put together is 14.
That's still like a little tiny baby booger bean.
Right. Because like you can almost argue that for the babies, like they don't understand.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. They've been scrolling through Subway Surfers all day. They don't even remember the last thing you just said to them.
It's destroying their attention span, but they love that shit. So now we're back to a text post, and this one is also from Facebook. Whoever reposted this made sure to blur out the name, so that's good. Okay, so I'm absolutely heartbroken right now, and I need some other moms' opinions. My son turns 15 tomorrow. Every single year, I've decorated the house the night before, so when he wakes up, it's totally decorated. I take him a special lunch to school, I make his favorite dinner, and do his favorite dessert. I give him the couple of presents that I have left over from his birthday party, and I guess I just feel like it's the one day that a child should understand that their mom wants to be with them.
I already disagree with that.
Like, I get it, you pushed him out on that day, but that's still his birthday.
This isn't an issue with normal parents. Like, you just go to like a dinner or a lunch with them and like have your little time with them, and then you go do your own thing. Like,
I understand if this kid was like 10 years younger and like they don't really have like friends to go out with, so like you plan for them, but like this kid's a teenager, so let him make his own plans. Anyway, It just gets worse from here, let me tell you. Well, my son got a girlfriend about 6 months ago. Uh-oh, here comes the other woman. It has become a problem in our household. He constantly picks her over me. He tries to convince her what a horrible home life he has, and he lies to her about things that happen in our house just to get attention from her. He has decided that because he can't hang out with her Wednesday because of band practice, he's going to hang out with her tomorrow on his birthday. I'm literally crushed. He has zero empathy towards the fact of how sad this is making me. He just keeps yelling at me that it's his birthday and he doesn't understand why I'm so hurt. While I've tried to explain it to him, he's not hearing me. To him, it's his birthday and he should choose. I just thought I'd raise him to choose better.
What?
Unhinged behavior. So this is my thoughts. No morning decorations, no special lunch or dinner, and I'll save the couple gifts I have for Christmas. Not even that she'll return the gifts, she'll save them for a later date. I'm not gonna go out of my way to make the day special for him when he truly doesn't care that he is hurting me so badly. Am I a terrible mom for this? Please be kind. I will not be kind.
What?
You know, how about since your son is a bit older and he understands the world a bit more and understands his needs and wants more, why don't you ask him what he wants to do for his birthday? Is that such a crazy idea?
The craziest, like, emotional whiplash I received right now was from her saying that she's literally going to punish him for not choosing her to spend the whole entire day with. That's wild. Like, that feels kind of like manipulative to me. Like, if you don't choose this, then, well, too bad, you're not gonna get anything. I'm not even gonna like give you a birthday gift. I'm not gonna decorate. I'm not gonna give you anything. Just choose me.
No, pick me, choose me, love me.
This post reads like she doesn't have good communication with him either, because why can't she just listen to him and then be like, okay, well, we'll do like a dinner together like the next
this
day
weekend
or something. Like, why is it such a crazy huge deal? And like the way that she talks about his girlfriend, I feel like is very unhealthy, because it's actually absolutely 100% normal and happens to everyone that when they get in a relationship, they want to spend a lot of time with that person, and it's not weird at all.
Especially at 15.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the relationships last for like 3 days, but you're obsessed with each other for those 3 days. What I especially hated about this was the part in the middle where she said like, oh, he tries to convince his girlfriend that he has such a horrible home life and that I do all these things to him when that's not true. It's like, so what is he telling the girlfriend? I want to hear his side.
That's what I'm wondering
clearly something
too.
is off.
I almost fell over in my chair right now. Dude, that's what I want to know too, because when I was that age, I would also like talk to like friends or whoever about stuff that was going on at home, and I wasn't lying about any of it. So like, how does she even know what he tells her? Is she like over like listening in on their conversations? It's weird.
I imagine her with like her ear and like a glass pressed to his bedroom door and listening to them talk. I wouldn't be surprised if she has access to like his text messages and listens into his phone calls or whatever.
Yeah, because why does she know what he privately says to her? Like, shouldn't he... Okay, also, shouldn't he have that like space and like independence and freedom to be able to say stuff out of earshot of her? It's invalidating his privacy.
If she did happen to hear it in a creepy or non-creepy way, why not like bring it to his attention and be like, hey, I heard you feel this, and this way. Let's talk about it.
My first concern would be like, do I actually do that? Like, do I actually make my kid feel that way? Not running onto the internet to get like pity from strangers. You know what I mean?
Like you have to run to Facebook and trash talk him on there.
I've been trying to say that people should go to jail less often, but jail.
That one like pissed me off when I first read it. I was just like, what the actual
I feel sad for her son. I just feel like he's really sad.
This was probably like an act of rebellion for him, because she sounds like such a helicopter parent, and like this seems like the first time he's ever set boundaries and was like, I want to do something I want for my birthday. And she's not
and so she's
responding
freaking
well.
out. I want to give this guy a hug and read him some gospel from this book right here.
Read him some bedtime stories from The 100 Reasons to Love Ryan Gosling. No, for real. I want to like pick him and his girlfriend up and pay for their dinner.
I hope he does whatever he wants on his birthday for the rest of his life.
And I hope this mother is in therapy.
Yeah.
So we're going back to TikTok for this next one, and it's not as anger-inducing as this past post was, but it's definitely interesting. The caption of this is, LMAO, don't get mad at me and don't kill my vibes by saying girls can do all those things. I know, but it's oh boy, so let me have a good time, okay? And my shirt is salmon, not pink.
Thanks for clarifying.
Quite the disclaimer. Oh my God. But anyway, here we go. Ooh, watch out, everyone. She's not like other moms. She's gonna go to Monster Jam with her boys.
My first question is like, why do you hate women?
You know, I wasn't gonna go there, but I'm glad one of us went there.
I literally heard that like meme music in my mind right now, you know, like the reality TV show music where it's like, why do you hate women? There's no reason to hate any of those things. Like, Nutcracker probably. I've never seen it, but
it's a classic for a reason.
Yeah, people like it, and that's not exclusive to little girls.
Right, and she's already putting all these expectations on her son that he has to be like this like macho man and like all these boy things, but it's like your son can also like the color pink.
Oh, but it wasn't pink that she was wearing, by the way.
Salmon.
Don't get it
Excuse
twisted.
Me.
Okay, now after having watched that, I do understand why she clarified that. She was like, people are gonna say I'm wearing pink.
Because that's the glaring issue with this video.
I don't know why she's like possessed by like the misogyny demon, honestly. Because I don't understand how you're like 40 years old probably, I mean, not that 40 is like... This is me over-explaining things. I'm just trying to say she looks good. Like, I'm not trying to say she's
40,
like...
you're old. Ha ha.
I'm just trying to say that...
It's like, at your big age, why are you still acting like a middle school girl?
You said it perfectly. Yeah.
And it's not calling her old or trying to old shame or age shame her.
No. It's immature.
Yeah, you would think you'd know better. When you know better, you do better. But apparently, she does not know better. And she does not wear pink. She wears salmon.
I'm so glad she clarified that, because otherwise I would think she was like a hypocrite or something.
Yeah, that would be on my mind all night. So there's one point in the video where she like shows the sneakers that her kid is wearing, and he's wearing Jordans. Is it not the stupidest thing ever to buy designer or like expensive clothing and shoes for your baby, because they're gonna grow out of it in 3 months?
It's so wasteful.
Like, your kid can't even walk yet. Why are you buying them J's? That shit's not gonna fit next month.
If anything, it's just kind of like, why aren't you letting the kid kind of have more of like a say in what they think is fun? Because to me, that kind of reads to me like, oh, you're gonna wear this and dress up like the way that I want you to. I want you to look like fancy, and everybody's gonna like look at you and be like, wow, what a flex. He's wearing J's. He's wearing J's. Oh my God. What am I gonna do?
Like, congrats, you wasted $70 on your baby's shoes. And you know they're not donating it.
No.
You know that shit's going right in the landfill.
Maybe even that salmon shirt, too, after people, you know, call her out on that. I'm actually interested if anybody called her out on that. I don't know if you're able to see the comments, but...
I hate pink.
Has a pink shirt on? Okay, literally.
You know, I have so much respect for women who are like other girls and embrace their girly attributes. Because society makes you feel bad if you don't fit into standards, but they make you feel bad if you do fit into standards, because then you're basic.
There's literally something so beautiful about having something in common with other women and feminine people.
There's nothing like it.
It's amazing. And I'll be the first to say, I love pumpkin spice lattes, and I love it when it's that time of year with the fall. Like, I want to literally be like that woman in that picture where she puts on those big boots and like the white sweater and goes and like takes a picture like with the fall leaves, like that.
Christian Girl Autumn,
literally. Like,
they had a point.
Absolutely.
I'm not a pumpkin spice girly, but if I could, I would take an IV and inject peppermint mocha into my veins.
You know, I've actually never had that one, but I'll try it just for you.
Oh my God.
I'll try that, and I'll think of the girlies, you know, all the other girlies and how I'm just like them. And I would just like to say, personally, that I would actually like to see the Nutcracker and go to Monster Jam, because I haven't done either one of those, and both of them seem kind of like camp in their own way.
That would be a fun night out.
Yeah, double feature.
So shout out to Real Mom Stuff. Wish you well. That pink shirt looks excellent on you.
No, hey, it is pink though.
All right, so now we're going to go back to Facebook. And this one's like kind of poetic. So I think you're really going to appreciate it. Boy moms, no truer words. I love this so much I had to share. If you are a boy mama, this one's for you. You always hear about a girl's daddy giving his daughter away on her wedding day. Oh, I already hate this.
Ew.
I never thought much about the mamas and their sons, but y'all mamas give away something too. Something just as precious, something I knew I would never get back.
What?
I gave away being the one he hugs and kisses. I gave away being the one he sucks and... Wait, I read that wrong.
Ew.
That was an ad-lib. She didn't actually say that. I gave away being the one he looks for in a crowd. I gave away being the first person he turns to when things get tough. Girl, get some friends. Go kiss your husband.
Or whoever.
You can be bi and a boy mom.
Justice for the bi boy moms out there. They would never do this. They would never talk about this.
No, they would not. I gave away being the one he makes laugh in the middle of day. I gave away being his number one girl. I gave away a piece of my heart. I gave away my son. Deep down, I know he will always love me, but I also know he loves her more. He loves her more than his mama, and that's okay. The copium is real.
It's weird.
Get a diary.
Copium levels they're rising, I hear, actually,
Astronomical.
in this country.
That's how I knew he had found the one. But isn't that what we want? We want them to marry a girl who they will put first, even if it means we become second. Mamas, love him while you are still first. Kiss his sweet baby face and linger in those lanky teenage hugs. Drive him to school even when he is grumpy and doesn't say a word to you. Listen when he needs to vent and blow off steam. And it cuts off there.
This is so weird on so many levels, but I guess my first thought when I heard you read this, why do any of those things like get put to a halt because they're getting married or whatever it is? Like, you could still listen to your kid's problems. They're still your kid.
Like, he doesn't block your phone number the night of the wedding.
Like, your relationship with them is not over. And I think here's where the problem is again, is those two pathways in the brain are not separating. They're together like this. They need to separate. They're two very, very different relationships and dynamics. This person is taking their kid being in a relationship like very personally when...
That's life. Relationships change over time. Like, is her relationship with her son going to change after he gets married? Yes, but that's the human experience for you. It doesn't mean it has to be a bad change. That just means you have to adapt and find ways to connect that work for both of you.
Far before the time that you get married, I think you should already have like boundaries with your kid and for their relationships and like give them space for that stuff, you know?
Otherwise, you'll be that mom who gets pissed at their teenager for spending his birthday with his girlfriend. That one, I don't think I'll forget for a while.
There's never any mention of like their significant other or like spouse or anything in these posts. It's always like just one-on-one between like the mom and their son.
The husband is third wheeling usually in this case.
Yes. Or just like not present. Just unfortunately.
I do notice a trend of like the boy moms who are like especially incestuous and them being divorced. So like they project their romantic desires onto their son, which is like really weird to say. I don't know, which is why I have a little bit of sympathy for them, but like I have more sympathy for the sons at the end of the day because they didn't ask for that.
They didn't ask for that, and they're the ones that kind of end up suffering like the consequences.
You know, you want to have sympathy for the parents because I'm sure it's hard to be empty nesters and like see your kids grow up when it just seems like yesterday they were in your arms and cooing and diapers, but it's like, that's life. Figure out ways to cope without damaging others in the process.
They feel like they're giving something away because they're losing control over the child. At that point.
Sometimes you are the problem and sometimes it's not about you, and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's good life advice.
I agree. If only I had a salmon shirt to wear while I said it.
And an Olivia Rodrigo song playing in the background. With that being said, we're heading back to TikTok yet again.
I never thought that I would be that toxic boy mom. I love my 4 kids equally, but that last little boy just hits different. And now I feel like I'm having this existential crisis. Before I wouldn't be that mom, that toxic boy mom. He hits his sisters, he punches them. I'm like, maybe he's having a hard day. So when I think about my daughters getting married, I get excited, right? Think about their dresses, planning their weddings. When I think about my son's wedding, I want to cry. Boy moms, we've got to step up. We got to realize that we are the problem.
And go to therapy.
She's like, yeah, my son like hits my daughters. He just like throws them on the ground. Yeah, but it's okay. He's just like in a bad mood.
He just didn't get ice cream for breakfast, although she would probably give him that if he asked.
Yeah.
But, like, meanwhile, I'm sure if her daughter like spilled something, she's like, McKaylee and Marie, how fucking dare you?
No, I feel so bad for the daughters in that household. Like, they're going to be feeling the brunt of every one of her frustrations. And meanwhile, like, her son is just like on a pedestal. It's like, it's sad. You hate to see it. You know what's interesting though is like at the end there, she had like a moment of like self-realization, like clarity.
Yeah, I think she was just doing it for like a joke. Like, oh, I'm the problem, but it's like, you don't see yourself as the problem. You're just trying to...
Yeah, trying to justify it. Like, I'm self-aware about it. Like, I'm a bad mom. Like, I treat my daughters like shit, and I, like, just kind of, like, let my son punch my daughter in the face. But, you know, I'm self-aware about it.
This is the kind of mom where, like, her son will brush his teeth for the first time in 3 days, and she'll be like, that's my Jimothy. But meanwhile, if her daughter gets her doctorate in like physics or something like that. She's like, why didn't you get your double doctorate? I don't know how shit works. I'm a YouTuber, not an academic, but thankfully this next one isn't a long like soliloquy that we've read from Facebook time and time again. This one's a screenshot from an Instagram reel, and it's this mother looking extremely horny.
I don't like the face she's making.
Right. She looks like she's like on the brink of orgasm, and I'm uncomfortable. I'm sorry to be so descriptive, but
no.
The caption is, for the folks at home, when you're so in love with being a boy mom and suddenly realize it means you'll be some girl's mother-in-law one day. And then the caption of that video is, well, that's one way to ruin my weekend. I'm sorry, but you should never be biting your lip.
No.
And like looking horny when talking about your kids. Is that a tall ask?
It shouldn't be. This is the last face that you should make when you're talking about your son.
And to just like post it for 53,000 people to like it, like how is there no shame anymore?
50,000 people.
I've said this in like a sad cringe video where I went through r/sad cringe. It's okay to have secrets. It's okay to keep things to yourself.
So true.
I am pro secret.
Yeah. A lot of problems could actually be solved by somebody literally just having a diary or a journal.
Just shutting the fuck up. Talk to a best friend.
Yeah,
confide in someone
seriously.
off the internet.
This might be one of the weirder ones. Like, this might be like S tier weird just because of that face that she's making. Like, she's kind of giving me butterflies.
She didn't say how old her son is, so for all we know, he could be like 20, but even so, it's still fucking weird.
God forbid it's some young little guy.
I mean, they didn't bother to post the whole video, so I don't know what audio or song is behind this, but I can't imagine it's a good one.
The screenshot is honestly enough. And the 50,000 likes.
This is an adult film category.
Unfortunately, a very popular one.
Very popular one. All right, so I definitely saved the worst two for last. We have one TikTok and one post from r/mom group say left. And I'm not exaggerating when I say they're the worst.
Bring it on.
All right, so we're going to start with the TikTok. This is very similar to other content that this creator posts, as I've come to realize, and now you'll see what that kind of content is. $14 years old, grabbing his mother's ass. Diabolical. Do you have thoughts?
I've seen stuff like this before because unfortunately this behavior isn't that like uncommon.
With that being said though,
it left me pretty breathless.
There was definitely like a good like 30 seconds of silence from your end. That moment of like the ass grabbing.
He has fun with me?
Yes, he has fun with me. My son, 14 years old. Why?
That's like fully on there. That's not even like an accidental like.
He's 14.
The other element of this is like, is society so f***ed up? Like, society? Are we so messed that we would literally post anything on TikTok for the chance of like the slightest bit of attention?
Yes.
Even if it's bad?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, are we really there right now?
Yes, we've been there. Society is fucked. Ugh, I'm gonna sound like such a boomer, but like we've prioritized likes and views over basic humanity and decency. No house training whatsoever.
No.
Debauchery and tomfoolery are encouraged now.
No one just goes out and like eats grass the way that they used to.
I know. I touched grass for the first time in a while this weekend. I went pumpkin picking with
cute.
My partner and our friends, and it was so fucking nice to touch grass. We should do it more often. Encourage it. Go outside.
Literally, like, I feel like I'm kind of scared for kids just because, like, I don't think they realize how awesome and amazing the freedom of not recording everything you do is.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually fucking awesome to not record everything you do. Like, you feel good. What the hell did we just watch?
TikTok, why do you allow this behavior? I don't know, free speech, but at what cost?
You have to really look at this dynamic for what it is. And like, unfortunately, a lot of people have to like break it down this way to kind of really see how like messed up it is. Imagine if this was a dad with his daughter. Like now, but now it seems weird as fuck, right? Because it is.
Both sides are weird as fuck.
Exactly.
Sure. All right, so this last one is from Facebook. No one's shocked. Trigger warning for discussions of baby genitalia. Need to throw that out there. I know, Nikki, you're already confused.
I have no words.
I don't know what group this was originally posted on, but here we go. Would you like to read it, or should I do the honors? I will do it.
I started reading it and like my brain just was like, turn off now, reboot.
Would you like me to read it then?
I can read it.
Okay. Last but certainly
I'll
not
take
least.
one for the team.
Yes.
I'm embarrassed asking this, but my 2-month-old has a large eggplant. It is bigger than my 2-year-old's. I'm only bringing it up because I heard a few remarks that alluded to my older son being a good size. My 2-month-old is twice the size. As a mom, you don't want anything to be too big or too small, you know? No, I do not know. My husband mentioned it to our I
assume that says pediatrician.
Yeah. Me not being able to say that word. And I was so embarrassed, I almost fell out of my chair. She basically said, well, maybe it's a little above average. I guess my question is, why is my baby's eggplant bigger than my toddler's? I really don't want to fixate on this, but is it maybe going to cause issues down the line? Why are you concerned about this? Why are you thinking about this? Why are you going to the internet with this?
I would get it if something health related was going on, but other than that, like, keep it to yourself.
This is one of the more unhinged things I've ever read online. Like, I don't understand, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
The thing she says about, like, the concerned down the line, like, what do you mean?
Like you're concerned that he's going to have a massive dong down the line? Or your 2-year-old's going to have a micro pee-pee?
Like, yeah, like, why does that concern you? Like, a problem down the line for who?
You know, as long as they're healthy and growing, that's all that should matter. Oh my God. She says she's embarrassed asking this, but not embarrassed enough to post it to a group with however many people.
The way she says, like, I don't want to fixate on this either. Like, mama, you're already there. Like, this post says it all. Like, you are fixating on this.
You already wrote a 250-word paragraph essay about this on Facebook.
It's so unhealthy. Imagine, like, the kid later on seeing this post. Like, literally, I would die of humiliation. I would just simply have to pass away.
Right.
I mean, that was definitely the worst one.
No doubt. No contest.
I mean, conclusively, I think people really need to write things down in like a journal or something, really like think about it, mull it over in terms of like rationality before they like type it out online. Or I was gonna say it's like a metaphorical tweet.
Right, leave it in the drafts, it's okay.
Exactly.
If you had to give one piece of advice to the boy moms who we looked at today, what would it be?
Before you have kids, think about your relationship with yourself and your gender and how you feel about those things, because if not, you're gonna start treating a child or multiple children irrationally, somehow justifying that in your mind due to like society's like imprint on your psyche. Like, I don't know, either that or like don't get dropped on your head when you're when you're a baby. Because a couple of people in those videos might have gotten dropped.
Once or twice.
It's weird to get back to like a cheerful, like, and that's the video.
Alrighty, make sure you go like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
I wish there was like an AI Santa Claus that we could ask to like tell us what to say.
Based
Outro.
on the AI Jesus video that I posted, there probably is an AI Santa bot. Should we look it up?
Yes, can we?
Let me speak to old Saint Nick. The AI Santa from Character AI just wrote a YouTube outro for me. Should I read it?
Yes!
And that's a wrap, folks. Now, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more great content. We have a channel together now, apparently.
Oh, nice.
Until next time, this has been your channel name, Annamarie Forcino, and
Nikki Carreon.
And I'll see you later. Ho, ho, ho. But for real, thank you so much, Nikki, for joining me for the third day of the 12 Days of Sinmas.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you had just as much of a blast as I did. I hope I didn't traumatize you too much.
I'll get over it, as with all my trauma.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a tiny, tiny thumbs up and subscribe down below to both of us. Go check out Nikki. She is awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 4 of the 12 Days of Sinmas. Bye!
Bye!
Ho, ho, ho!